Michigan Out of Doors Online is brought to you in part by...
For over 30 years, Vanguard Outdoors has made the gear that turns a regular hunt into another fine day of field. We know that a good shooting stick or a nice pair of binoculars can make or break your day. Our design teams include serious hunters who work hard to bring you the best sporting optics, shooting sticks, tripods, bags, and more. We are Vanguard Outdoors.
Michigan Folding Doors and Sunrooms. Bring the outdoors in with a sunroom or patio enclosure, folding glass doors, and much more. For 30 years, they've designed, installed, and maintained dream living spaces across Michigan. Unfold the possibilities with Michigan Folding Doors. Hello everyone, welcome to Michigan Out of Doors and happy Thanksgiving to everybody. I'm Jenny Sialik and we've got a brand new show in store for you. I'll introduce you to a group of folks who spent a weekend fine-tuning their walleye fishing skills on Lake Erie. You won't want to miss that. And we do have deer hunting action in store for you this week too.
Well, that's right, Jenny. We do have a few more stories on this week's show. We're actually going to kick things off with Jordan Brown's opening day. He was in the mid-Michigan area with some family. You won't want to miss that. They had a great time in the woods. And we're going to have time for a venison recipe and, I believe, a bragging board as well. So you stay tuned. I'm Jimmy Gretzinger. It's time for Michigan Out of Doors.
From the first spring rains to the soft summer breeze, dancing on the pine forest floor, the autumn colors catch your eyes. Here come the crystal winter skies. It's Michigan, Michigan Out of Doors.
What a beautiful day in the woods.
Someday our children all will see this is their finest legacy, the wonder and the love of Michigan. As the wind comes whispering through the trees, the sweet smell of nature's in the air. From the Great Lakes to the quiet stream, shining like a sportsman's dream. It's a love of Michigan we all share.
Michigan Out of Doors is presented by
Country Smokehouse, a sportsman's destination since 1988, featuring varieties of homemade sausage, jerky, brats, and gourmet entrees. Holiday gift boxes can be assembled in-store or online. Details at countrysmokehouse.com.
By the Michigan Outfitter, committed to honoring and celebrating Michigan through their products, offering a variety of apparel, stickers, and gift items for the outdoor enthusiast. Learn more at themichiganoutfitter.com.
Change my ways. They told me I could leave soon if I changed my ways. It's been 3 dark days. Whoa! I'm coming home.
Well before the deer season even started, I knew this year's opening day would be different than most. With my wife and I expecting our 3rd child in late November, I knew I'd need to be close to home just in case he decided to come early. This gave me the opportunity to do something I haven't done in almost 20 years, and that's spend the opener with my grandpa. So the two of us, along with my uncle, all jumped into one blind, hoping for the best on opening day.
First deer I got was up at Dead Stream Swamp, west of Holton Lake.
Oh, I remember that picture.
That was your first deer.
That case is stacked up higher than the deer.
Well, those Charlie Randemaker was with us, and we went and hunted out west of the Dead Stream Swamp. But those other guys, they didn't really go out and hunt.
Oh, really?
No.
What year do you remember?
59.
So, how many? I was trying to figure out how many seasons you've been deer hunting.
Oh, gee.
A few.
Well, 59. I deer hunted that year before that.
So 58.
So about 65.
Wow.
66. More than that. 67.
Yeah. Wow. Have you hunted pretty much every opening day since then? Or did you miss some in there?
No, I think I made every one.
What about you, Dan? When was your first?
When I was 12.
That was your first opening day?
Yeah.
Have you missed one since? Oh, probably did when you were younger, or no?
I don't remember missing one.
So, how many years for you then? 48-ish? 47?
Yeah. Yeah, but now I'm out without a gun.
There's so much wisdom in this blind right now. All this deer experience.
Don't we need deer then?
You'd think we'd be seeing more deer.
Things started off pretty slow, but there was never a dull moment in the blind. Between the occasional text from a successful friend or family member and the countless stories from seasons past, the morning flew by, and as we waited on a buck, one of the stories I enjoyed hearing the most from my grandpa was about the first time he saw a deer in this part of the state, something that's hard to even fathom nowadays.
I was squirrel hunting southeast of Westphalia, a couple guys. I was sitting there and there's a fence rope probably 30 yards away. And I saw something moving up there. Jumped over. I thought it was a dog at first. Couldn't see it. Got to the fence. Jumped over. Then I knew it was a deer. It's the first deer I saw down here.
That was when?
Probably 1951, 52. Well, back then, the real big bucks came from the UP.
Right here's a deer. A couple of them.
We saw a handful of deer throughout the morning, just not the buck we were looking for. And as noon approached, we were thinking about changing spots when we were caught off guard by a nice buck right behind the blind.
How far out? Window open. How far out? 20 yards. I don't see him. He's right here. Tight. He's right here. I can see him. He's looking right at the blind. Don't move. Big shooter. For sure shooter. Looking right at us though. Bull's still dead. It's the 5x3 buck. Okay. Is that like there? Dog guy. Oh, he's coming. He's coming. He's gonna be close to the line. Where is he at? Right here. Say when. Hang on. Okay. Yes.
Get him good.
Just go down. Go down. God, you hit him good.
Think so?
Oh yeah.
I couldn't really tell.
I should have just stayed put. I didn't realize he was coming. There was another one back here that had buck.
Yeah, I saw one back here when I saw him. There was a little buck over there.
You hit him really good. I can't believe he made it to the cedars. I thought he was still back there.
I think we're about ready to leave the blind.
We're kind of slowing down.
And Jordan spotted a nice 8-point plus a smaller buck. And after that, of course, he came out from behind brush, stood still, and we took a shot at him.
Made us kind of juggle all around the blind, but
yeah.
Yeah, it was a little chaotic there for a minute.
Yeah, made it work.
Was it from start to finish? What was it, probably a 45-second deer?
It's amazing how fast a hunt can change. We went from getting ready to get out of the blind to head back to camp, to getting out of the blind to go track.
Is he coming down this trail?
Should have been on one of these trails, either this one or that one. This, you got the gun, so I'll go side of you. I would think that one.
Pretty good spots right here.
Yeah, I'm sure he bounded. Oh yeah, look at how good that one is. Look at how good this one here is.
Whoa, look at how big a body he is, Dad. Look at how big a deer he is. He's a...
right here.
Oh, you're in perfect. Here, grab a hold of him. How many point we got here? 5 and 3, what the heck?
One busted. It's just 3.
Boy, what a beautiful deer. Thank you.
Nice shot.
Thank you for all the help, you guys. Well, we got him. Actually, Dad hit him perfect. We weren't real sure after the shot. Ended up being perfect, just slightly behind the shoulder. Good vitals. He did come all the way into the cedars, which is probably 100 yards, and then he made it up this little hill. Surprised us a little bit. I didn't think he'd quite go that far, but job well done. Did it.
87 years young, is that right?
Pardon?
87 years young?
87.
He'll be 88 in less than a month.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Easy game, isn't it?
Yeah. Got a long road, mister.
Every opening day is unique, and the truth is, you never know how many you'll get. But there's one thing they all seem to have in common. When it's all said and done, what you remember most isn't the deer or the camp. It's the people you're with. I might forget what this buck looks like one day, but I'll never forget the hunt. And I can only hope that 50 years from now, I'm tucked into a blind or tree stand somewhere, enjoying another opening day right here in Michigan's Out of Doors.
We get it. There are no shortcuts to getting it right. Bell's Two-Hearted IPA.
While most of us are focused on the deer hunting action this time of year, there are still plenty of folks taking advantage of the walleye fishing that's happening. And in this next story, we're going to show you an incredible weekend of walleye fishing and learning how to be a better angler. We've known Lance Valentine for about 25 years here at Michigan Out of Doors, and one thing that's been true all these years is that Lance has a passion for teaching folks how to become better anglers. From Saginaw Bay, the Detroit River, and Lake Erie to seminars and expos across the state, we've watched as Lance has welcomed fishing novices and pros alike to join him on the water or in the classroom to learn fishing basics and how to master your electronics or improve your fishing success. A few weeks ago, I stopped in on Lance's 20th annual Fishing Education Weekend on Lake Erie to watch the master in action at this 4-day event.
So we are down here on Lake Erie, and this is our Fishing Education Weekend that we do through Walleye 101. This is our 20th year of doing it. It started out as I was doing some seminars at Gander Mountain, and we had a 6-week seminar class, and a lot of the guys asked me, hey, how do we know if we really learn anything, if this really works? And we found a place to go in the fall that has some great fishing close to shore. We have some lodging, all the things we need to hold a trip. So we started bringing groups of people down here to actually get on the water. We do seminars every night, every morning. We get on the water and share information while we're on the water at the Fishing Education Weekend, then get back together every night, talk about the day, and get back out the next day and go fishing. So we combine seminars, learning, education, sharing information with all the other boats on the water, and some fishing. So you got 4 days of hands-on, go on the water, try something. If it doesn't work, come back. We're going to help you get dialed in, go back out the next day and try it. So 4 days of coming down, learning how to become a better fisherman, getting a little deeper into how to plan a trip, how to keep records, how to kind of put a pattern together, having a great time with 50, 60, 70 guys, meeting new fishing friends, and just having a great time for the weekend.
So we're going to get out of the river mouth and start looking for fish on the sonar and see what we can find. Sounds like there's a couple guys out who may have found fish out in front of the river, so we're going to try to see if we can get on those fish.
And did you guys know each other before?
No, we sure didn't. I think it was your first time attending last year, wasn't it, Brandon?
Yep.
Yes, Brandon was down here last year. I came as a boatless vagabond looking for company. Brandon had offered to me to hop in with him, but Lance had wanted me to go with another guy that he thought would be able to help me out, being that I'm pretty new to the walleye world, but not fishing in general. And yeah, we met last year, and then Brandon was gracious enough to offer, saying he was coming back, and took him up on it. I'm glad to be back here.
Yeah, last year was my first year. I had actually attended one on Houghton Lake before that. Had a good time down here last year and met a lot of good friends, and we've made it out fishing with some of those people multiple times this year, just from the friendships we've made down here. I think it's Lance's style of teaching. I've never had a time when I've been around him that I haven't learned something from him. And it's just that the knowledge that you gain when you're around a group that's so serious about fishing. Yeah, it's an enjoyable experience.
Is there anything in particular you're excited about hearing about this time around?
There was a forward-facing sonar section of the classes, which was always, that's interesting. It's something new, and I think that a lot of people, including myself, are interested to learn. There's a lot of new things with that, so yeah.
Any tips or things you learned that you want to try today yet, or is that coming later?
As far as the tackle side of it, that'll be coming later. We did go through some sonar stuff this morning, which was interesting as far as locating fish and using your electronics to find the fish so that you can fish where there's catchable fish.
Brandon and Ryan found some catchable fish today for sure and made the most of a rough, windy day. Lance says this event is the perfect way to put his teaching to the test.
So as we did the seminars, guys were realizing that, hey, I don't know about this part of fishing, so that's what I need to learn. And after we did it for 3 or 4 years, like I said, someone came to me and said, hey, how do we know this is working? So coming down here on the water and actually going fishing, applying what you learned in the classroom, this was kind of our final exam, right?
It was clear to see at the fish cleaning station that everyone passed the exam with flying colors, with many anglers coming in with their limits. Bruce and Mariah Smith were here from Mason, Michigan, and had a good day.
Very, very bumpy.
So what did you learn that you put to use today? Anything you took out there with you?
Nothing new, I guess. We've been doing it for a while.
Yeah, we've been doing it for a while, so.
So why do you come back then?
Because we like Lance.
We love catching walleye, so.
Yeah. We just like being with this group of people all the time. It's just a lot of fun. I mean, there's been years we come down here and it's so rough we can't even go fishing, but we come back every year anyway.
Well, I have learned that, like, I know why we go some places. Like today, we're basically hiding from the wind. It's kind of all coming together, and we've been doing it for so long, but it's kind of like a refresher.
This 4-day fishing education weekend is made up of lots of fishing, great food, camaraderie, and learning. And the second night of the event, Lance's pro staff surprised him with an award to commemorate his 20th year of his Walleye 101 education weekend. To say Lance was surprised would be an understatement. It was the first time I've seen him shed tears. A huge part of this experience is record keeping. Each day, students record a multitude of information with each fish they catch, and it's all compiled into reports for everyone to talk about over breakfast each morning. Doug Ward is a charter captain who still learns something new each time he's here.
You know, every time we come back, there's so much information that Lance gives us, and we always hear something different. And my first couple of years I was writing, I was taking notes, I filled up pages and pages of notes, and after a while it's almost like drinking from a fire hose. There's so much information, and you try to digest it, and we evolve as fishermen, and each year we come down, we hear something different. It might be the same message sometime, but as Lance says, we just weren't ready to hear it. And so each time you come back, you always pick up something new, always do. And no matter where you're at in your fishing evolution, you're going to be a better fisherman.
No matter where you are in your fishing skill set, there's always room for improvement. Lance says the best part about the sport is that it's a level playing field for all.
You know, fishing is a really inclusive sport, or should be a very inclusive sport, and I like the mix of people we get. And you know, we tell everybody the first night they're here that they should leave here. We have 55 people this weekend. You know, you should leave here with 54 new fishing friends. That's the whole goal of the weekend. So we love having everybody here, regardless of your skill level. You're going to learn something. We'll put you with the people that you need to be with to learn and become a better angler. And this whole thing, it's Fishing Education Weekend. It's about the education. Fishing is part of it, but it's about learning how to become a better angler. So everybody's welcome. We love to have everybody here.
It's so encouraging to see events like this where anglers work together and share information so that everyone may enjoy more success on the water. A heartfelt thanks to Lance Valentine for devoting his life's work to making us all better anglers.
Well, we're here once again next to Central Michigan University, Mount Pleasant, Wood Shop Social with Jim Wood. Jim, everybody's got some venison in the freezer hopefully by now as we're into the season. What are we going to be doing with some burger, it looks like, here today?
Yeah, so everybody always asks me, you know, what do you do with burger?
Yeah.
We're going to make soup.
Okay.
So kind of a chowder, you can call it cheeseburger soup, whatever you want to call it. It doesn't really matter to me. And these are the basic ingredients, but you can add, subtract, you can add bacon, mushrooms, whatever you want to do.
Okay.
So
how do we get started?
So we're going to start with some butter. We're just going to get our vegetables kind of sweated down.
Okay.
So onion, carrot, celery, just basic mirepoix.
Now what's the difference between a soup and a stew? Is there much?
You just had to ask me that question. So a stew is traditionally cooked longer. It's almost like a braise, so usually it uses a tougher cut of meat.
Okay.
So you might cook it in the oven. You cook it on the stovetop, usually 2 to 4 hours. Where a soup goes together normally in less than an hour.
Okay. Now, do you guys do a stew slash soup? I would imagine you do several here at the restaurant.
Yeah, so we do a soup seasonally. Right now, it's a butternut squash soup.
Okay.
But yes, we do soups like this every once in a while.
Any certain tips when cooking with venison? Like we hit that before, but when you're doing burgers, just cook it all the way through. And
well, yeah, I mean, for something like this, you're gonna want to cook it all the way through. You want to remove as much of that moisture as possible, because that will impact the final product of the dish.
Did you season that meat at all beforehand, or no?
Nope. We're gonna wait till it's cooked, and then we're gonna season it. If you season something, you know, when you add salt to something, you're instantly pulling out moisture.
Okay.
And we're trying to get a little bit of brown on this.
Okay.
So we don't want that much moisture. So we've cooked the vegetables down, we've cooked the meat down. We're going to turn the heat down a little bit. We're going to add our flour, which is going to be our thickening agent. We're going to whisk that up real good to avoid any clumps. Try to get it to not stick to the bottom of the pan as much. Let it cook for a few seconds, just to kind of cook that raw flour taste out of it. Now, turn the heat up a little bit. All right, so now that that's come to a simmer, we'll add our cream.
Oh, it looks and smells good.
Well, that's the point.
How long you need to keep those potatoes in there
Season
for?
our potatoes just until they're cooked through, so it depends on how long you cook them. Just kind of taste them as you go. And then you don't want to thicken the soup until, or you don't want to add the cheese to the soup until it's just done. So once those potatoes are cooked, then you can add the cheese.
Okay. What's the name of this dish?
We're going to call this ground venison soup. Really creative.
Have to work on your naming.
I know.
Thank you so much for joining us this week for Michigan Out of Doors. Make sure you tune in again next week. I'll be sharing my November 15th experience with you. I was able to spend the day in a blind with a 14-year-old young man, and we had quite a memorable experience out there. You won't want to miss that. We'll also stop into the Richmond Buckpole and hear some of those great hunting stories. If you'd like to see where we are and where we're headed next, you can always check us out online.
Well, that's right. Online is a good way to kind of keep tabs on us. Probably the best way is our Instagram and Facebook. You can see what we're up to pretty much on a day-to-day basis. Lots of good stuff coming over the next several weeks. Get out and enjoy everything our state has to offer. And if we don't see you in the woods or on the water, hopefully we'll see you right back here next week on your PBS station.
Michigan Out of Doors is presented by...
Do you dream of somewhere bigger than your backyard? You can get there with Greenstone. Whether you want to hunt, fish, hike, or just watch the sunset, we're ready to help you own your place in the great outdoors. To learn more, visit greenstonefcs.com.
By SCI. SCI helps protect, promote, and preserve wildlife through conservation practices which include hunting. SCI supports and funds conservation programs in the state of Michigan. Learn more how you can get involved at a chapter near you.
By Showspan, producing consumer shows including the Ultimate Fishing Show Detroit, January 9th through 12th at Novi's Suburban Collection Showplace. The show features fishing tackle, trips, boats, and seminars from the top pros. The Ultimate Fishing Show, Novi, January 9th through 12th. By Network Outdoors, connecting members to share experiences, help grow businesses, and to give back to the outdoor community. Learn more at one of 10 monthly meetups or online at networkoutdoors.com. Closed captioning brought to you by Double D Ranch Foundation, a nonprofit 501c3 foundation working to make hunting and fishing accessible for those with disabilities.
When I wander far away, a dream stays with me night and day. It's the road that leads to my home state. I am a Michigan man. Changing seasons paint the scene like rainbow trout in a hidden stream. The white-tailed deer in the tall pine trees. I am a Michigan man. I am a Michigan man. Ask where I'm from and I'll show you my hand.